All right, welcome to the Media Center. John Rahm, captain of Legion 13. John, thanks for joining us today. First off, it's just been a strong start to the season for you with LIV. You're actually leading the LIV golf standings with 2 runner-up finishes in Riyadh and Adelaide. How are you feeling coming into this week here in Hong Kong?
Feeling good. I look forward to this week. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's a fantastic city and a really fun golf course to play. So this is definitely a highlight with many other great weeks. Happy with my play so far. I wish I could have converted one of those wins. Obviously, going to Sunday in Adelaide, tied for the lead, and even having a good cushion on the 5th tee with birdie chances coming after that. Kind of kicking myself. Obviously, I made a few mistakes, but Anthony Kim played one of the best rounds of golf I've ever seen anybody play, so very well deserved. I just wish I would have had a better chance coming down 18, right? Besides that, yeah, looking forward to the rest of the year as well. Obviously been playing really good golf and hoping to continue that form.
Touching on this golf course, maybe a little bit more, can you speak to what it is that you really like about this venue, about this course, and the test it provides?
So I think we say the word traditional golf course sometimes, and with that, I think it just means that it's a golf course that was built a long time ago, right? It's a bit narrower, trickier. Unfortunately, it's become a little short for nowadays golf standards, but it gives you a lot of options, tee to green, and you can be as aggressive as you want and lay back as much as you want and make the hole play different ways, right? Usually we have different wind directions here. Tricky green complexes, right? A hole like 8, fairly long par 3 with a very tricky green where if you miss it, par is severely in jeopardy. Fun holes like 10, right, with a slow green and definitely just legit just lay up with a 4-iron and a wedge, and it can be tricky, right, even though you're looking for a birdie. A great par 3 like 12. Holes like 18 where you can hit driver, you can hit 4-iron, you can do whatever you want. So there's a lot of versatility and variety to this course, and it's some of the reasons why it can be so fun, right? It all depends on how firm it can get based on the weather. It does look like we're going to get some rain today, but if it can get a little bit firmer and faster, then it can be a nice challenge.
And lastly, the LIV Golf League really, I think, prides and focuses on being at the center of sport, entertainment, and culture, where each event, obviously, golf is at the core, but you've got music and food and art, and it looks to travel to regions and parts of the world like Hong Kong that also seem to embody that. So for you, when you're traveling with the league and in a place like Hong Kong, is there anything particular that you like to take advantage of, whether it's food or otherwise, and how does that all work together for the experience?
I try to enjoy where I'm at as much as possible, right? The cities that have a lot more to offer than others. This one is definitely one that has a lot to offer. Great food, great entertainment options, and just a lot of fun if you have the time and you decide to explore, right? So if I can, I try, but for the most part, once you get to maybe a Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, it all depends on the tee times where you're playing, how far the golf course is. You may not have that much free time, but particularly this week or a week like Singapore, as an example, or two, that you can definitely enjoy the city a little bit, given the tee times and how much it has to offer. And that's in Hong Kong is one of them. I wish it's not as easy, right? As I wish every week we played was a venue as fun as this one.
Thank you. We'll open up to the floor. Media, please raise your hand.
媒体朋友可以举手，然后我们可以提供翻译。Josh
Josh Ball from the South China Morning Post. Forgive me if you've been asked this already, but could I just get your thoughts and feelings on the DP World Tour events from about a week ago? And the 8 players.
What events?
The 8 players paying the fines.
I thought you meant tournament. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
I thought I was starting to think about where they play a week ago in Africa. What do you mean? So
your thoughts and feelings, your position on it. Like you weren't part of that group. So what your position is now? Well,
my position hasn't changed in a week.
Okay.
I don't like what they're doing currently with the contract they're having us sign. I don't like the conditions. They're asking me to play a minimum of 6 events, and they dictate where 2 of those have to be, amongst other things that I don't agree with. If we just go based on that, I've been a dual member my whole career, PGA Tour and DP World Tour. Now, with Live Golf being accepted in the world rankings as part of the ecosystem, you could almost say 3 tour member, even though I'm suspended from the PGA Tour. But I've always been a dual member. Never once have I been asked for a release to play either one of those tours. We've never submitted a release, right? So why is it now that we need to be offering that and there's all these penalties? Now, while I understand why they're doing it, what's the problem, right? Given also the fact that 2 years ago, I was asked to appeal the fine so they could figure this out and sort it out. And I did, and we're running into more problems right now. I just don't like the situation, right? I think we should be able to freely play where we want and have the choice to play where we want and not be dictated what we do, especially myself, right? I can't speak for others. That'll be myself. I've always committed to play the minimum requirement, and I think I've played 4 events, including the Spanish Open, every year, except 1 as a pro, and I commit to do that. That's not going to change. I still fully intend to do that. Now, with given the Live and Major schedule, I don't think I'm going to be able to do so till after our playoffs or our last events are done. But given on the back 9, right, we have the Omega Masters, I believe, Irish Open, Wentworth, French, Dunhill, Spain, right? Mm-hmm. Out of those events, I would love to play my 4 in there. Given I'm going to the Spanish Open, 3 of those I'm going to play, and I fully intend to play 3 of those. I would love to. I don't know what game they're trying to play it right now, but it just seems like, in a way, they're using our impact in tournaments and finding us and trying to benefit both ways from what we have to offer. And it's just, in a way, they're extorting players like myself and young players that have nothing to do with the politics of the game. So no, I don't like the situation, and I'm not going to agree to that. Now, I did tell them, funny enough, lower that to 4 events, like the minimum says, and I'll sign tonight. And they haven't agreed to that. I just refuse to play 6 events. I don't want to, and that's not what the rules say.
You obviously talk about you can't speak for other people, but obviously you and Tyrrell are close. Tyrrell was in that group. Can you talk a little bit about how that conversation went, or?
I respect Tyrrell's decision. That's all I have to say, right? He's free to make his own choice, and I fully respect it.
And sorry, just one last thing, if you don't mind. Obviously, Rory was a little cheeky when he came out with that quote about saying, you'd been on the Americans about wanting to be paid. Now you had an opportunity to prove you would pay. Any reaction to that at all?
I think I responded to that a few weeks ago, and I said that statement would make a lot more sense if all 12 of us were being asked to pay, not only just the 2 of us. And there's more intricacy that goes into this whole situation, right? I mean, while I understand why he's saying that, I mean, we all do it for the love of the game. It's a different situation than what we usually say, right? Like, I'll gladly pay my way to go on the Ryder Cup, not have to pay to still be a member of the DP World Tour and fulfill the commitment that I'm fully willing to commit.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
To your right.
Hello, John. Katie from RTHK. So with Hong Kong hosting the first time of the 72-hole stroke play event, what challenges did that come up for you?
Having to play one more round I was a proponent for it, as somebody that supported it, so I'm really happy. I think playing more rounds, more golf, is better competition, better for the fans, and better for whoever's playing good golf. So I support it. I'm excited.
Any challenges, behind that?
The only one would be travel. Not necessarily for the first week, but when you're traveling, like next week on Singapore, having one less day to possibly rest. But we're already there, whether we play on Thursday or not. It doesn't really make much of a difference.
Thank you.
Mike?
John, I just kind of going back to the start of the stretch this season, a couple of runner-ups. Go back to last season, you finished with 2 runner-ups, ended up shooting 60 in the final round there. I think it's 5 of the last 6 live events you've been runner-up. When you look at that, how much are you encouraged by the form that you're showing? Obviously, you keep knocking on the door. At some point, it's going to happen again. But or is it just, where do you balance the encouragement versus the frustration level? Or is there a balance?
I mean, we're talking about events that are 5 months apart.
All right.
So you can't take it as the last 6 starts, because there's a lot of golf in between, right? Play some events in the DP World Tour. In between those, and didn't finish as high as I would have liked. But playing good golf, right? Obviously, there's different reasons to that second place. Lost 2 playoffs. Got unfortunate with a flag stick on the last one in Indianapolis. Had a birdie chance on that first playoff against Dean and Josele and wasn't able to make it. So it just means you're playing good golf. Winning is never easy, and I'm happy that I'm putting myself in the position to possibly do so, right? But out of all of those, I kick myself more at the last tournament, because it's the one where I feel like I made the most amount of mistakes on a Sunday.
Even when you see a guy just, he can't miss a putt?
No, I 100%. As I said, he played incredible golf. I shot 1 under when people were shooting 4, 5, 6 under. Even though it was tricky, I played good enough to give myself at least a better chance. And had I shot a low score or a good round, and Anthony still beat me, then so be it. He played better and he was the better man. But I just didn't have, compared to the rest of the week, that Sunday felt like a bit more of a letdown than others.
Thanks.
Lynn?
Hi, John. Just wanted to ask, obviously, it's a massive stretch now, especially heading to the Masters. What is your game looking, especially with this tournament and then Singapore and then South Africa, and then you have to jet off to Augusta? I mean, it must. How do you mentally the next few weeks?
I think we all have a different process of how we approach the short-term goals coming this week and the ones months ahead. I've had a really good off-season, and I feel like I've been doing things really, really well. So keep focusing on that. And all I can do is take it day by day and week to week, right? Well, we're playing these 3 events. The goal is to play good and hopefully win those. The switch for the Masters kind of happens automatically, but there's things you can be working on those weeks that could help for Augusta. It's impossible to replicate Augusta National, but there's things in competition you could do to, in a sense, try to practice for the Masters, right? So that's what I intend to do, but even then we have 2 weeks before Augusta to kind of narrow the focus down as well.
And what are those kind of improvements that you're looking to do?
I will not be sharing that publicly. It changes every year, because our game, at least my game, can feel to be in a different state each time, right? So it's an adjustment each time the process comes around. But this is basic things at Augusta that you have to do well, and it depending how I feel like my game's at is what I'll be working on more or less. But it's such a demanding golf course that everything's important.
Anything else from the room?
Matthew on your mind?
John, just lastly, in Spanish for the media in Spain back home, could you please just share your thoughts on Hong Kong Golf Club, this course, and the challenging test it provides?
Que diría en español, el Club de Golf de Hong Kong, la verdad que es una gran semana. Como ciudad, como campo, es algo que me ha gustado muchísimo. Nunca había estado hasta hace 2 años y fue una gran sorpresa, la verdad. Me encanta la ciudad, es muy divertida y me encanta el campo. Es un campo, bueno, más lo que decimos tradicional, ¿no? Un poco más antiguo, estrechito, complicado. Si no hace viento y está blandito, es fácil, ¿no? No es un campo largo y hoy en día campos cortos, aunque peguemos hierro 4 y luego un wedge, vamos a hacer muy, muy pocas, ¿no? Así que es un campo que necesita que esté un poquito duro y viento, pero es muy divertido, te da muchas opciones, ¿no? En cada hoyo tienes opción de atacar todo lo que quieras o ser un poco más pasivo y asegurar un poco más, ¿no? Y sabiendo que hay que venir aquí y hacer pocas es un poco la idea, tener un plan, comprometerse y hay que jugar bien. Como, digamos, generar en un campo como este, desde el tee no es súper complicado. Creo que hay que tener un juego muy certero con los hierros, los hierros cortos, los hierros medios, porque si fallas los greens, como en hoyos como el 5, el 8, el 14 quizás, ¿no? El 18, son greens muy difíciles para recuperar, así que hay que hacerlo muy bien con los hierros. Y si pensamos los últimos dos campeones, ¿no? En Sergio y Abraham, son dos jugadores que son muy buenos de tee a green. Si recuerdo bien, Abraham creo que en 2 rondas solo había fallado una calle. Si te das posiciones de pegar a green y ser agresivo, es muy, muy factible, ¿no? Y con lo bien que jugó Sergio el año pasado también. Así que son dos jugadores que, bueno, te dicen cómo hay que hacerlo, ¿no? Dos que de tee a green son muy buenos. Así que es un secreto para todo campo, pero no te demanda tanto desde el tee como otros.
Thank you very much. Good luck this week.
Thank you.